Good evening and salutations, my GH fans. Let's get into this whole Nina drama. So Nina looks at the two hearts, the two necklaces, and realizes that they're a match. So now she has a ton of questions, and Michael comes in and fills in most of the blanks. As far as did confirming that yes, it was at the cabin. Um, and then he brings up now. At some point, Nina starts wondering, could Nell possibly be her daughter? Um, every time that Carly tries to brush off stuff, Valentine just has this look on his face like something's not right. And at some point, Nina asks Jack straight up, "Listen, do you think it's a possibility that Nell could be my daughter?" And Jack's just like, "Yeah." And of course, Carly has that look like, that shut up look. And I'm just like there thinking, Carly, this whole plan is just starting to unravel. At some point, I would sit there and think she would, I don't know, woman up and just kind of start to admit stuff, tell the damn truth. But nope. So Carly deflects, and at some point, Carly comes up with some BS story about how, yeah, Jax only found out because we was like looking at it last night and we didn't want to sit there and tell you. And she comes up with some sort of really terrible story that even Valentine's like, yeah, that doesn't make any sense. And finally Jax is like, yeah, I can't do this anymore. I gotta tell you the truth. You gotta kind of like brace yourself for this. Carly has that look on her face, that scared look on her face, and I'm just like, Carly, another one of your plans just blew up in your face. How do you feel about that? I like Carly, but sometimes these half-ass schemes that she does, even when the plan, the scheme or whatever is starting to literally crumble, she'll just hold on. The last time that she did that involved Spencer and Jax. And Jax was like, yeah, I can't do this anymore. So, yep, we're right back to where we started. Awesome, Carly. Now, at the police station, I'm not gonna lie, Alexis just really started to, like, irritate me a little bit. Alexis started to irritate me. Alexis just kept saying this thing over and over again. It was an accident. I didn't mean to do it. I thought Franco was... Like, after a while, I was like, Alexis, please shut up. Because honestly, to tell you the truth, you put yourself in this scene. You put yourself in this predicament. For months, your daughters, your family and friends was sitting there telling you to get sober. Hell, even Tracy was sitting there telling this chick to sit there and get sober. Otherwise, something bad may happen. And, the whole crying and, is Dante okay? I was like, after a while, I was like, just stop. Just stop. And yes, I do understand how addiction works. I get it. You had to hit rock bottom. Unfortunately, you damn near killed someone in order to do it. And this is what, the second time? I'm pretty sure I probably lost count, but still. So her whole tears act and everything like that, I was just like, I don't care. Just stop. And Mac is like, have you finally ready to get help? Like, cause you're literally at rock bottom on your birthday. Finally, towards the end, because at this point, Mac is like, you may be facing some hard jail time if he dies. And, towards the end, he tells Mac, Mac tells Alexis that Dante survived. Let's just be very clear about this whole Dante prognosis. I didn't think he was going to die. to like no one's surprise. No one thought that he was gonna die. There was no point of bringing this man back or him showing back up to work just for them to kill him off. So I already like knew, you know, that he was gonna be fine. So this whole tension if he's gonna live or die, I was like, okay, let's. Can we just fast forward past this part? I think, you know, honestly, to tell you the truth, I'm not gonna lie. I really do understand why sometimes people do take certain breaks from watching this show, especially when you can see certain things a mile away, and they'll just wait for a couple of days until things get interesting. I understand that why. But on the other side of town, you know, Olivia rushes to the hospital. She's trying to find the information. She's trying to find out what's going on with the doctors. Like, what happened? Who did this? And finally, Sam is like, yeah, it was Alexis. You know, it was out of accident. She was drunk. Olivia ain't trying to hear all that, you know. And, you know, Sam is like, listen, I'm sorry. And Olivia's like, it's not your fault. Like, you're not responsible for your idiot drunken mother's actions. So she, you know, goes in the chapel, and this is when, well, Robert is already there, but he goes in the chapel to join him, to join her, and he calls Ned. Now, he doesn't know about what Ned did. So when Ned gets down there, this is after Ned was there talking to Tracy, and I'm not gonna lie, Ned is kind of like. What irked me, I mean, a couple things irked me, but what irked me about what Ned said was when he was with Tracy and Monica, he pretty much was like, oh, this whole mess is all, you know, this whole mess is all Tracy's fault. And I was like, nah, bro. Nah. You're not gonna sit there and do this. I was like, nah, you're not gonna do this. You're not gonna sit there and blame all this on Tracy. Yeah, Tracy did mess up, and she did try to sit there and frame an innocent woman, but, you know, again, to Tracy's defense, she did it for you. And, you know, honestly, to tell you the truth, at the very least, Alexis would have been sober. You know, she would have dried out. And that's something that Mac did say to her. You know, when Mac brought up the whole, you know, DWI thing. And Alexis was, you know, I didn't do that. And, you know, Mac was like, you know, it almost would have been better if you did. Because at least, you know, you wouldn't be charged for, you know, attempted, you know, manslaughter. But yeah, in Tracy's defense, you know, she could have helped out Alexis in a backhanded way. And she did only do this to save, you know, Ned's marriage. And Ned did this to himself. So his whole hissy fit and his whole trying to blame Tracy for all this was just, bro, just shut up. So he goes to the hospital, and, you know, Olivia's like, yo, I don't want no parts of you. Like, I can't deal with you right now. And I'm trying to give Ned a bit of slack because, you know, despite what's going on between them, you know, he just wants to sit there and be there to support her and help her, and, you know, even though he cheated on her, he probably shouldn't be anywhere near her. That's pretty much why he showed up. So he leaves. Robert comes out there to make sure, like, yo, listen, she don't want no parts of you. Bounce. You know? Don't go nowhere near her. And, you know, Ned's all like, oh, I'm still her husband, and yada, yada, yada. I was like, bro, you kind of gave up that right to sit there and start claiming that when, you know, you decide to have drunken sex with Alexis. So, I don't know whatever kind of high horse you're on, you might want to just, you know, just kind of step down a little bit. I don't remember which one walks off, but one of them walks off. Now, also in the hospital, you got Jason Snitcher talking to Franco, and Jason pretty much just wants to understand, like, why did Dante jump in front of, you know, like, why did he take the hit for Franco, you know? Franco's like, I don't know, you know? And Jason, you know, was sitting there thinking, was like, you know, maybe he's a cop or whatever, but still, you know, like, it just didn't really add up. So while they're talking, Liz shows up, and I'm not gonna lie, Liz is just, Liz is starting to get on my nerves. Listen, I get that she wants to sit there and defend her husband. She loves him. He's a changed man. Yada yada yada. Blah 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 blah. Yeah, I get all that. I'm with it to an extent. But you know what? Listen, the tumor is real, and when the tumor was there, he was killing people, lots and lots of people. Let's not sit there and try to act like that just didn't happen. So you know, she gets in front of Jason's face and she starts mouthing off, talking about, oh well, you know, I know you want to sit there and kill my husband, this, that, and the third, and you know, there's a bunch of people that want to kill him. So you know, aren't you like all upset? You know, I'm like, Liz, please just do me a favor and shut the hell up. Like, he wasn't there to kill your husband. Well, today anyway. According to you, you know, have a bunch of people online that want to sit there and do that job. So why don't you just get off your little high horse with Jason? You know, between that and the little dig that she made at Jason about Jake, I was like, wow, sweetheart. You got some gall on you. Here's the thing. Whenever it comes towards Sam and Liz, I usually take Liz's side because Sam can just be like too much at times. But with this whole, I'm trying to protect Franco from Jason, and I'm like, you need to be protecting your boys from Franco in case he decides to, I don't know, revert back to type. Like, just her ignoring the danger, it just, she's getting on my damn nerves. I get where she's coming from. I'm trying to look at both sides, but at the same time, it's like, alright, you need to just, like, calm it down, sweetheart. Just a tad bit. What else? Oh, really? At some point, they're talking, and, Sam comes out the shadows or whatever, and she realizes that it was Jason that wanted to put Franco down. You know, that's going to put Franco down in case he acts up or whatever. And I don't remember who leaves who or what group splits up, but, you know, after they talk about that, Sam feels, I don't know if she feels guilty or whatever, but basically she's like, you know, I'm the one that turned in my mother. And I'm like, well, Sam, what else was you supposed to do? You were literally an eyewitness. Like, what was you supposed to do? Like, stonewall them? Just pretend that Dante, maybe death didn't matter? Like, I don't understand. Like, what do you feel sorry for her? Like, I don't, I'm not gonna lie. That was, whatever. Monica is sitting there talking to Tracy, and long story short, Monica tells Tracy to just leave. Basically saying that her presence there isn't helping the situation, you know? And if she leaves, maybe they get the time to, like, heal, and they don't have to be reminded of what she did, and they can one day maybe even forgive her. So, you know, when the cops come to pick up Tracy, Monica's like, yep, she left. Like, the country. So, and I was sitting there wondering about that, because in the beginning, you know, Tracy was sitting there talking to Luke, and Tracy was like, you know, I'm staying, you know, I want to sit there and try to help out my son, but I'm like, well, your helping is what kind of led to this a lot faster, so I don't really understand, like, what, I don't know if he actually is really interested in your level of help. And the last thing, is Sonny. So, Phyllis takes Sonny to some clinic, and the doctor draws his blood. You know, the whole time Sonny's very defensive. You know, Sonny's like, oh, well, she thinks I'm crazy, and maybe you're the one that's crazy. And so they run his blood or whatever, and realize that he has lithium in the system, which confirmed what Phillips was saying about, you know, him being bipolar and him having a pretty much manic episode. So, you know, Phyllis is like, you know, you can take the medication and it can kind of just, you know, even you out. And, you know, Sonny is being very defensive, talking about you're nothing but a stranger to me, just being like, I wouldn't sit there and say over the top, but yeah, being defensive. So, you know, Phyllis like, you know, I'm really hurt by what you said, and, you know, Sonny feels guilty, so he decides to, you know, take the medication. Because at one point he's like, oh, well, how do I know this isn't a con? Okay. But yeah, long story short, he takes the medication just to kind of even them out, and, you know, I guess when they ran his blood, they didn't, like, check any, I don't really know how doctors, like, offices work and stuff like that, like when you draw blood or whatever. I guess you have to come to the same hospital or whatever that actually has your medical records or whatever. I thought it was kind of, like, universal or whatever, but, I was just surprised. I was like, so you ran his blood and you didn't, like nothing came back? I don't know. I guess it's not like APHIS or whatever, where it's like, he did fingerprints, so, yeah, I guess my whole theory about that, pretty sure I said that yesterday, about that whole theory about, like, once he run his blood, they're gonna realize it's Sonny, and, you know, we can kind of start to get the ball back to, you know, but, you know, that didn't happen, so, and yeah, Olivia pretty much swears revenge on, Alexis. You know, first it was sleeping with her husband. Next, it was damn near killing her son. So, yeah, she's off her blood. Wonder if there's going to be some broken kneecaps. I know I keep saying that, but I'm just like, yo, you know she's going to come in on her. And, you know, Alexa's going to give her a whole stop. So, I'm sorry, I didn't mean it. And, like, I'm not going to lie. When she was crying that whole time, I was like, oh, seriously? How long where she had to sit there and listen to her sob and cry and talk about how she didn't mean it, this, that, and the third. Like, I get it, you know, she has an addiction. But, you know, the whole crying thing isn't helping him get better. Like, at some point, you need to dry out those tears, because I don't feel sorry for you. Like, you nearly killed someone. You had all the opportunities in the world to sit there to try to get clean, to try to get sober. Everyone was telling you that. All your daughters and your family and friends, and this is a result of that. So the whole pity party, just, no. Yeah, and with that being said, I think that's actually about it. I think that's pretty much everything that happened. I said this in my last review, but I'm going to say in this one. So I'm pretty sure my vacation days start next week, which is good because, one, I get to have my reviews come out a lot faster. Since I'll be off, I can actually do them on time. And two, well, I don't actually have to wake up really early in the morning, and I can just kind of relax and enjoy myself. It's going to be so great. Anyway, with that being said, thank you so much for watching. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. Hope everyone has a great weekend. If you could share this video, that would really help out. And, yeah. See everyone in the next review.